Hi, yeah, so welcome to my Zoom meeting. Um, it's been a long time since I need this recording, and there's been a lot like coming. I will take solid time to basically explain every process that I need to that we need for the work. So the first thing, we already have the data. And now, uh, a lot of work has been done, but this needs to really, really be properly done. It's better we do like 10 properly, and then we do 100 and is not properly done. So, these are the current requirements that we're considering. So, allergy, treatment, analysis, causality, caution, challenges, diagnosis, and effect, which is under sorry. So then I also had miscellaneous. So miscellaneous and I'm sorry, this is not how to spell miscellaneous and false relationships. So we're considering these relationships, and I'm going to use a 20-minute demonstration to show, yeah, to show like what I'm actually kind of expecting. So it's going to be a lot, but it's something that I'm very sure it will be very, very, very clear. So the first thing that will happen will be I will go on to the list that was provided. Now, if I see the list that was provided, basically I want to start from here, let's say 12,000. Let's start from the 12,000 mark. Very, very important work to be done here. So we want to annotate as many as 80,000. There are about 80,000 sentences here. And we'll see how much we can go. Now, looking at this sentence, let's say, so this is where it's starting from. So this is a sentence, a full sentence, through a systematic search of the PubMed M-based China National Knowledge Infrastructure, CNKI, and Chinese Biomedical Literature, CBM databases. We identify articles with clear definitions of GRD, including non-erosive gastroesophageal reflux disease, NERD, reflux esophagitis, RE, and Barrett's esophagus, BE, that included dietary and lifestyle factors as independent factors affecting the onset of GERD, expressed as odd ratios or relative rates and 95% confidence intervals. Now, if we go through the sentence, and we kind of get an overall view of the different relationships in the sentence. Now, it has been broken down into this, a systematic search. Now, so first of all, a systematic search is not a medical term. When you're drawing a knowledge graph, you don't need a systematic search. So in this place, all we have is false. So we have false relationship for every place where a systematic search appears. Now, so there's no need to read everything because it's just obvious that systematic search is just an adjective describing what they did, but it doesn't have the medical relationships that have been described there. You can't say systematic search was allergic to anything or was a treatment to anything. No. Now, if you also look at this, so some of these things are just description. So they use a PubMed. The next was the PubMed M-based China National infrastructure. It's also very clear that there's no relationship in this place. So please just put false. Just put false. So that's very easy, easy work to do. Then the next one is we. It's also obvious that we has false relationship. So we is a pronoun basically describing now we are going into places where that has relationships. Now, if you look at this sentence here, you have articles. Now, so we identified articles with clear definitions of GRD. So articles and GRD have what I call a relationship in this sentence, and it's going to be miscellaneous. So it's a miscellaneous relationship. Let me check the spelling of miscellaneous. Miscellaneous. So miscellaneous relationship, yeah. Um, this is what we have here, miscellaneous. Awesome. So what is left here? This is miscellaneous. Articles, clear definitions, no relationship, false. Articles, non-erosive gastrophageal disease. Now you can look at it. Articles with clear definitions of GRD, including non-erosive. Yes, so you can obviously see including, so there's a miscellaneous relationship between what they studied and articles and the miscellaneous things. Now, articles and that obviously has no relationship, so it's false. Articles and dietary lifestyle and conditions has no relationship to. Just going through it, you see that it does not have a relationship. So because this includes not, it is not a direct relationship. Look at the sentence that included. So look at it, including non-erosive GRD, then RE and Barrett of esophagus. So dietary is involving Barrett, not the articles itself. So if you look at this, the rest of it is going to be a false relationship. So just false articles down. Next one with clear definitions is obvious. We don't need clear definitions. We don't want clear definitions. We are looking for something more solid in our project. So the clear definitions is going to be all false. So it's actually not something so hard. Including, so it takes about 4 minutes to go through a sentence. These are just 1,000 sentences. So we say that's 40,000 4,000 minutes basically. So it might be 80,000, but it's about 4,000 minutes, and we say 4,000 minutes in hours. So 4,000 minutes, let's say, is divided by 4,000 minutes divided by 60. That's hours. So we need 66 hours, basically, something that can be done in a week. A week typically is 40 hours of work. So actually something that can be done quickly is not, it doesn't really take too much time if we're focused. So through a systematic search of PubMed, Embase, now look at this GRD and non-erosive gastroesophageal disease. Now look at this, where we clear definitions of GRD. Now GRD includes, so these are the things that includes GRD. So this is like association relationships. So we're not, now look at what we're doing. Are we considering associations? No, we're not considering association. So it's a miscellaneous relationship. So just take miscellaneous relationship and write. So it makes everything easier. So miscellaneous, awesome. So just write miscellaneous. GRD and that is just like false. Now there's no relationship between that. That is just a word. Now GRD and dietary lifestyle and factors, miscellaneous. That included dietary. You understand? Now if you look at the GRD includes dietary. So this is miscellaneous. Yes. Independent factors. Look at the independent factors. Imagine you're drawing a knowledge graph and you see GRD and independent factors. Like, what's independent factors? So you don't want that inside. So you remove it, false. GRD onset, no. GRD and GRD. Now look at the two GRDs of, so GRD and GRD. You can put this as miscellaneous or false, depending on what you want to do. So, but I'll rather put it as miscellaneous. So if you go to your GRD and odds, expressed as odd ratios, no. So this is the first GRD. So this GRD and odd ratios don't have relationship. This second GRD and odd ratios have a miscellaneous relationship. So you also want to be very careful. So this is false, this is false, this is false, this is false. Now, so non-erosive gastroesophageal reflux disease, which is NERD, and that's, now there are some sentences that you just see, you know, is false. NERD and lifestyle, dietary and lifestyle are also miscellaneous too. So it's almost going to follow the same flow. You'll see the independent factor, you see onset, you see GRD. So it's almost going to follow the same flow. So if you check it, because we're talking about GRD including NERD. So English is like, English has math. There's a principle to English language. So it just almost works that way. So which makes it very easy for us to evaluate. So we have miscellaneous independent factors, onset, GRD miscellaneous, odds, false, OR, false. You understand? Because we are comparing non-erosive gastroesophageal and reflux disease, ARIA and Barrett's esophagus at the same time. You understand? So this we if you compare this 95% confidence interval, um yeah, so no, you see 95% of confidence interval is more or less like on the second GRD. Now, when you see that, please, once you see that or things like those things are already false. We don't want to see that in our knowledge graph. So let us remove that. Yeah. Then dietary, so dietary lifestyle and so let's look at the next one, which is dietary and lifestyle, then independent factors. You understand? Now look at this. So look at the dietary and lifestyle. If you check it, look at does dietary and lifestyle have any relationship with the future variables as independent factors? So they have a relationship. Dietary and lifestyle actually do have a relationship with independent factors, but is a that included dietary and lifestyle factors as independent factors because it's the same thing. They are talking about the same thing. It's not a false relationship, but it's miscellaneous. So you want to call it miscellaneous relationship. Um, Dietary and lifestyle factors and the onset. Now, so it's the onset affecting the onset. So it's the same thing, is an affecting. So cause, this is a cause relationship. Dietary and lifestyle causes the onset of GRD. So basically the onset and GRD will be related. So if you go check GRD, the onset of GRD, so this is cause. So you want to, because of the sentence continues. So you look at this place, you say, okay, the onset of GRD. You understand? So it's a continuation. So you complete it. So maybe if there are three thoughts broken, you look for the sentences and complete it together. I hope that was clear. Next thing we go into is dietary and lifestyle GRD. So dietary and lifestyle GRD. Let's see the next step. So it's actually a lot of work, brain work, and it's always easier if you're talking to someone. If you need to be on call with me, or I always make out time for this, even if I don't have to sleep for the next 2 days, because this needs to be done as soon as possible. Like I'm giving the timeline of next week Wednesday for this thing to be cleared out. So dietary lifestyle and GRD. So this is it. Now if you look at dietary lifestyle and GRD, affecting so be included dietary lifestyle factors. So this is cause. So if you can say dietary lifestyle factor causes GRD. Do you understand? Like from here we can say it causes GRD. We can say dietary lifestyle and foods. Now when you say odds and OR, express, no, this is expression, this is miscellaneous relationships, but not necessarily. So this is miscellaneous relationship. Odds, OR. Now odd and OR are miscellaneous together too, so because they are the same thing. So when something is split into two, you check if it's what would fit it the most, whether it's going to be miscellaneous, but don't put it as false relationship. Maybe a word that's a conjoined word like seeing like maybe China national knowledge infrastructure. If you split, because it's a model that it is, no human being is going to split words like this into like it's just not really humanly possible to do this for thousands of data. So that's what we're trying to achieve. Now look at this. So let's see dietary lifestyle and relative risk. Or relative risk. So if it is ORs here, we also have relative risk too, which is still OR. and dietary lifestyle and 95%. So it is expressed as relative risk. It's not like, you understand, expressed as um, dietary lifestyle conditions affecting the onset of GRD. Okay, now looking at this thing, I'm saying that I am wrong. Yeah, so it's possible to be wrong. And if you're not sure something, it's always good to correct it. So it's something as you're going around, you see it. We included dietary lifestyle factors as independent factors affecting the onset. So dietary lifestyle affects GRD, but GRD itself is what is expressed as odd ratios or relative risk. And 90, so now what happens is here here should have been false because after odds we see false, so everything is false actually. So false, 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 false. Then it's now here and including the 95%. So it's GRD that is being affected. So the onset of so independent factors and dietary lifestyle, we are the same thing. So you basically just go independent factors and onsets. Independent factors, the onset of GRD causes, so independent factors, which are dietary lifestyle. You can leave it as causes or you can put it as miscellaneous since we have already got this ones. So independent factors, yeah. Now, if you now look at this, the onset of GRD is, you understand, causes. Now, we won't, yeah. So you just put causes there if you want, or you put miscellaneous. If you're not sure, put miscellaneous. You understand? If you're sure, put causes. Now, so onset odds, all these are going to be false. False, false. So let's see it here. Excuse me. I have GRD odds. So this is false. Sorry, I have to check first. Express as odds, which is not false, is miscellaneous, miscellaneous. So this is where the miscellaneous comes in, miscellaneous and miscellaneous here. So these are things that GRD and 95% confidence intervals. So under what context are we talking about GRD? So GRD expressed as 95% confidence interval, GRD expressed as this. Now, if we look at the rest are more or less false relationships. They don't really have relationships. So it's a it's very good that we have that now. So next thing we go into another sentence called this one. The patient lost 344 kg, but reflux symptoms progressed to the point of becoming almost incapacitating, associated with erosive esophagitis. Now the patient 344 kg. So the patient lost 344 kg. Now, what is this? Now, go back to the table and see, is this an allergy? Is this a treatment? Is this an analysis? Is this a caution? Do you understand? Challenge, diagnosis. So the miscellaneous is the word because it's not none of them. The patient reflux symptoms. So the reflux symptoms, you can call it symptoms, basically. Did I put symptoms here? Oh, okay. Symptoms should be here actually. I think I've already written symptoms. I can't believe I did not write symptoms. So symptoms, yeah. So the patients and reflux symptoms, basically you want to put symptoms there. So symptoms are there. The patient, the points. So nope. Um, false. Then the patient has erosive, yeah, so or something like that. So it's called misdiagnosis. This is the diagnosis. So erosive esophagitis is a diagnosis. Now, 344 kg is just a number, so please false everything, please. It's not, you understand, you don't now come in this place, they had a relationship because we were talking about the patient, but you obviously know that 344 kg reflux symptoms in this place doesn't will not have any relationship. It was just describing the patient. Now, reflux symptoms and the point. Now, to the point was just trying to make an emphasis. It does not have a direct bearing. Now, reflux symptoms is related to um you understand progressed incapacitating association, you understand. So look at this to the point of becoming almost incapacitating. Now, so you remove this one, reflux symptom progressed or referral systems associated with erosive debt. So that means it has a relationship, but it's not clear what relationship it has, miscellaneous. Point, erosive esophagitis, please false. That's how it is. Now the next question, fasting blood samples were analyzed for gastrin and CGA. Now, if you look at this fasting blood sample, look at fasting blood samples, look at gastrin, were analyzed for gastrin and CGA. So what's fasting blood sample and gastrin relationship? Analysis or observation or something like that. So this is it. Great. You see analysis. You know, when you see assessment, so please, you just, if you see assessment, you see experiments, put them on the analysis. If it looks close to analysis, put it on the analysis. If it looks close, you understand, just make sure you put it there. It's always good. Yeah. Let's just have something. Fasting blood sample and gastrin were analyzed or something. You understand? Like it makes sense. She gets or the analysis produced. You understand? Now you see fasting blood sample, gastrin and CGE analysis. Now gastrin and CGE itself and not it's not analysis, it's miscellaneous because one, you don't know whether there's a relationship between them or not. Do you understand? So leave it as miscellaneous. You understand? Like let us wonder the relationship between them. Or you understand? So another one. A total of 254 of those taking PPI had GRD symptoms incompletely responsive to PPI, and 352 had severe somatization. So a total, you understand? Now, let me see a total. It's not you don't it's not doesn't have a relationship with it's clear it doesn't. Now let's go on to the next one. Let's say of those, it's still describing of those, you understand, the total of those who were taking, so it's when we start getting to PPIs that we now start seeing something like a relationship. Those PPI, understand, no, we don't have that. Now, so when we say PPI GRD symptoms, so PPI had GRD symptoms. So people who had who took PPI had GRD symptoms. So there's a relationship there. So now always please read the sentence first. So the total taking PPI had GRD symptoms incompletely responsive to a PPI and had severe somatization. So, excuse me. So PPI and GRD symptoms have a relationship. Now, it's not symptoms, is not so basically, if you look at this, it's more or less like it's still an analysis. It's not, you understand? So it's still an analysis. Check analysis. Why is it an analysis? Is an assessment. Basically, this sentence is more or less like an assessment question. So let's first get the overall view of the sentence, know what that sentence is trying to communicate, and then you can now start splitting the sentence into like different relationships. So now PPI is incompletely responsive to a PPI. So that's a kind of a treatment plan. Um so you want to put PPI and the PPI. So that's now for this one, since it's not clear, just put miscellaneous. Then PPI, this is this first PPI and incomplete stomatization, has severe stomatization. Now just we call it miscellaneous. Now the next one is GRD symptoms and APPI. So they were not responsive to treatment. Since they were not responsive, so that means they were treatments, but they were not responsive to it. So please put treatment there. So whether it was responsive or not responsive, you understand? It doesn't. Now GRD symptoms and severe stomatization. Okay, so yeah, so you want to remove this too. Uh Oh, yeah. GRD and severe stigmatization. Um, I would like to have put treatment, but I'm not too sure because of this and hard. So I'd rather just put miscellaneous. Yeah, so PPI and yeah. So now look at this responsive to a PPI and this had severe stigmatization is also miscellaneous. Let's now move on to another one. Cerebral palsy (CP) is associated with high burden of combined respiratory disease subsequent to multiple factors associating with increased level of disabilities. This sentence is talking about CP with high burden, you understand, of respiratory disease. So there's respiratory disease, so describing as an association between this disease and another disease subsequent to multiple factors increasing associated with increasing levels of disability. Now, so high burden, yeah. So basically we can just sorry, I lost where I was. Um high burden of cerebroid, yeah. So now we can look at this. So cerebral palsy and a high burden. Now, please, this is high burden. Don't think too much. High burden does not have relationship. It's a description. No one see. This is what I'm trying to achieve, like relationships. Now, penicillin rash allergy. You understand? Sneezing allergy, blood test, cholesterol analysis. I'm not looking for. I don't want those. I don't want um a high burden inside what I'm like trying to plot. Like if you see maybe the knowledge graph I drew could actually like really assist in understanding like what I'm looking for. So with that sentences, those beautiful sub sentences, I was able to explain what exactly I was looking for. And for instance, now look at this. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Now anxiety meditation, see treatment, anxiety herbal tea treatment. So anxiety has can go into either meditation or you can use herbal tea to do anxiety. You understand? You can see pain, acupuncture, you understand, and another treatment plans. You can see most of these things leading to each other. I want a very interesting knowledge graph. I want, you understand, rash penicillin allergy. So this is what I'm drawing, and I want as much as possible like good relationships, not things like high budget. Now high budget is not going to relate to that, so this is false. Deleting false relationships. I'm also not going to be considering miscellaneous relationships more until in a later paper, but I still need it to be properly done. Now, so cerebral palsy (CP) is associated with a high burden of comorbid respiratory disease. Cerebral palsy and are definitely associated. What kind of relationship you say is miscellaneous because it's an association. Now, multiple risk factors. High burden subsequent to multiple risk factors. This is not or is it cerebral palsy? No. High burden of this subsequent to multiple risk factors in no, you see it is respiratory disease that is actually having multiple risk factors, not cerebral palsy. So please false it. Increasing levels false it. Disability. Now disability so you cerebral palsy is actually a look if you look at the sentence at the end of the day, it actually is associated with diseases. So let's put miscellaneous there. Please high burden false, everything false, and put yeah, so it makes this the work easier when we have adjectives like this. Now comorbid respiratory multiple risk factors. So he has a relationship, which is miscellaneous. Increasing levels, no, we don't need increasing levels. Disability, true. So what kind of does it cause disability? Yeah, so associated with increasing levels of disability. So this kind of thing we can put cause or we can put miscellaneous. But it would be more interesting if we put causes. it is, you understand, but it can be up to you. You know, there's some judgment calls. That's why you are not a robot. For instance, there are multiple factors associated with increasing left. No, we have false here. Multiple factors disability, no. Increasing levels disability, no. So I guess this is it. I hope this is really, really clear. So I'm going to send out a sheet to you, like a new sheet. So you work on it and need as much as soon as possible, as quickly as possible. So this is how it's going to go. Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm going to share the video with you now. So you just watch and yeah.